Hi, everyone. Jen here. Surprise. I have decided to just do a random video today. Now, here's the thing. Yesterday, the 30th anniversary of The Crow came out in select theaters for only a couple of days. And I started thinking about this movie when it came out and what period of time I was in my life. And it was a pretty big pivotal moment, but pretty big shift in my life. So I was, kind of graduating high school, going into college. I was also trying to figure out what to do with my life at the time. And when the movie came out, I was drawn to its aesthetic. I loved the look of Eric Draven. I loved the looks and feels of the simplicity of this movie and how it was pretty much to the point of why Eric was doing what Eric was doing. And so today I've showed up as the Barbie version of The Crow meets Weird Barbie. So if you see my makeup here, instead of dark black and gothic mime looking things, I'm going for the hot pink, crazy, different colors happening over here. And as my cats are joining me for this talk. So I just thought it would be fun to test it out today with you all so I could kind of get an idea if this is something fun I could do. Um, would it translate? I don't know. I actually just don't care. I just wanted to do it. I wanted to have fun. So yesterday I went and saw the movie, and I love that they opened it up with a couple of behind the scenes talks about just not only just Brandon, but what they were going for in the movie. And I know they're trying to remake it. They've done sequels and, spin-offs of it. For me, because of that time in my life and because of how important that movie was, I can't see any of the sequels or the new remake. I just can't because it's not even about just the story. It's about that time in my life. So that time in my life was pretty pivotal. That was the first year I got a tattoo. That was the first year I tried to cosplay something that was beyond just, Halloween costumes. I tried to cosplay it at college for Halloween because by the time I got to college, the movie had been out for a little bit. And so I was trying to cosplay it. And I had long hair at the time, but I didn't have long black hair. And I didn't want to put on a wig. I wasn't that far into creativity, but I think I'd borrowed somebody's makeup and somebody's eyeliner, and I'd just done the best I could with what I had. And I had like a black bodysuit and all different kinds of things. And very, very simple costuming. And matter of fact, when I went up to the lunch counter, I think I was at lunch at the time, he called me a mime, and I was like, I'm not a mime. But what was also intriguing about this time of my life is that as an artist, yes, you heard me, I was always been an artist since I was a young person. And as an artist side of myself, I would express it in the graphics that they used for the movie. So in just to give you an example, the crow on the CD cover at the time. Yes, they were CDs coming out at the time. And it was kind of like this really fun world of VHS going into CDs and DVDs and all this interesting kind of things happening in the world then for me. And I drew it freeform in pen, actually. I drew it pen to paper with all the shading, all the looks of the crow with the words and everything. And I had it hanging in my dorm room at one time. And there's some of these dorm rooms have like whiteboards on them. I would occasionally draw the crow on the whiteboard, and somebody would come over and run their finger through it, and I would get really ticked off. One night, I remember coming back from work, and I was really exhausted, and I was just so ticked off that they had done it again. Like I would redraw it and draw it and redraw it, and somebody would just swipe their finger through it, and I just remember having a bad day and not really up for it. I was like, this is my space where I can be creative, and you're invading my space, even though it's my door. But just so you know, this movie goes beyond just a movie. It's a time in our lives where some of us were still really young. I was 17 going on 18. It's like, I just turned 18, and you start feeling like you're starting your life beyond just say being at your parents' home, or this is just my story. I don't know everybody's story with this movie and where you were 30 years ago, but this was where I was 30 years ago. I was in a very interesting, unique space. And so that kind of movie to me was very raw and gritty and dark, and I loved it. And I remember last year, I believe it was last year, is the first time I went to Frightmare. And I had never gone to it before. It's been around for years and years and years. I'd never gone to it before. I'd been attending other cons that had a mixture of pop culture items, but Frightmare is specifically towards more of the dark genre of characters and looks. And I just found myself, I basically, I think I only attended one day and I showed up as the crow. And I was like, only three people maybe recognized me, but the point was last year, for some reason, I thought it would be awesome to revisit what it was like to be 18-year-old Jen just having seen The Crow and wanting to cosplay it. And so I researched, how in the world do I do makeup like this? I know it's a simple makeup, but for me, it was so out of my comfort zone. So out of my comfort zone. So I had bought, the white paint, the powder, the black, liquid, as well as lipstick. I have all of it stashed away in a bag. And then I started looking at the outfits in the movie and I was like, what do I want to do here? Like, I don't want to dress like Brandon. I kind of want to dress a little bit like Sarah and a little bit like Brandon's character. So, Eric. So so I wore the fishnets and I wore the combat boot styled shoes, the boots, and found a jacket on Amazon, and I tried to replicate the long sleeved black shirt as best as I could, including holes and duct tape and all of the interesting things that I put together for this look. And it was something that I wanted to do for me. And a lot of people, maybe you think cosplay or characters or things like that are as a way to like disassociate yourself from yourself. But what I found was it was just something that I wanted to have as an expression or extension of myself. It's a piece of my history. This movie was so beneficial for me to try something new, look at the world a different way, and then also the story behind, the tragic story of losing Brandon Lee afterwards and how impactful that was. The music in this, although it can get very choppy in there, the varieties of music were very real to the time, which I could relate to. Like 1980s movies, I love them. There's a wonderfulness to them, but I can't necessarily relate to that group of people because I was so young, I wasn't living that. But in The Crow, I felt like this is what I was seeing around me. And even in the small towns and the places where music and things kind of like we all collide at some point, big cities, little cities, we all can relate to music of some sort. So the music in the movie to me was definitely representative stuff I was already listening to or was on the radio at the time. I appreciated that. I also appreciated the imagery that they used in this movie because there were just so many different things that really just I had never seen before. Yeah, there's a lot of movies out there at the time. There's a lot of fun things. There's space movies. There's all kinds of different things. But when it came to this aesthetic and what I really enjoyed, it was just a variety of different things that this character did. I love the fire crow symbol. There's a lot of cool things that some of the zooms and the cinema aspects of it paired with the music really just kind of like, I really enjoyed that. And I found myself, tearing up yesterday. And I think it was because I realized that 30 years of my life has gone by. And I was like, and it wasn't a sadness as in regret, it was a sadness and thankfulness of, wow, how much life have I lived in 30 years? How much has my life changed since I was 17? And I think about my kiddo and I think about her only being like 7 right now. And 10 years from now, she's going to be me. It's like in this area of time that we're given in this space, right? Um, so I just wanted to share that with you today because I thought it was just something really fun that I could get on here and just talk about it for a second. Next week, I'm going to record all about my thoughts on the movie and the things like that with a local, I say local podcaster, a podcaster, and just talking about movies in general and how they impact your life or shape your vision for your own life, or you get inspired by something. That's kind of how I obviously mixed up a couple of genres today in my Weird Barbie. Now, Weird Barbie is a whole other concept, but I really love this hot pink take on the crow. It's so bizarre. Now, I didn't fully finish out my makeup. This was my last minute. Try it out, see if I like it. But man, this pink is really pink. So, but yeah, last year was full white makeup, black makeup, the full gothic feel look to it. And this is more of a Jen just had an idea and I wanted to put it together. Do you like it? Anyways, I kind of want to leave that with you today. Like 30 years have gone by. What does that look like for you? And are you happy with your life? Are you happy with those 30 years? And if not, I wonder, unlike Eric's character, we don't always get brought back to life like that. But what if in this moment you were brought back to life, either watching that movie, watching a movie, watching any movie, or if something comes to you and wakes you up and you're like, wait, I'm awake now. I can go do that thing I've been waiting for, or that last year you had an idea and you didn't follow it through, or, even what I'm doing right now, I probably wouldn't have done this last year just because a Barbie movie hadn't come out yet. So, but anyway, I love being creative and I love thinking creatively. So I hope that you have fun today. I hope that you go out and create something. And if there's a movie that really impacted your life, I challenge you to pick it up and look at it again from an adult perspective. There's a difference between seeing something at 17 versus 47. All right, y'all have a great day and I'll see you soon. Bye. Oh, wait, I got to end it right. Hey, Barbie. It can't rain all the time. True love lasts forever.